Week 4 of the NFL season has now ended, and unfortunately, I watched the Eagles play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and in today's video, I'll do a post-game recap of what happened and my thoughts on the game. So unfortunately, it was a terrible game. There was no point in the game where I felt good, and it was just very disappointing. The Eagles lost 16-33, and it wasn't that close. The Buccaneers, well, I didn't think they were that good at going into the game, and I thought the Eagles would win, are clearly the better team as of right now. The game started out, the Buccaneers looked like they had prime Tom Brady on the field. They went down the field, got about 10 yards per play. So how can you stop them if they're getting 10 yards per play? Well, you can't. 10 yards is a first down. Duh. They got a quick touchdown, and then the Eagles muffed a punt. And at first I thought it was a penalty on the other team because a Bucs player hit Cooper DeJean, causing him to muff the punt. But it turns out the Eagles blocked a player into their own punt returner. Terrible special teams play. Then the Bucs score again, and it is quickly 21-0. The Eagles offense has 0 yards. It might have even been negative yards at the time. And the Bucs are in complete control, 21-0, of course. Then it's like, is this game just over? Jalen Hurts does show some life, mainly Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, feel kind of bad for him. He had only 10 rushes, had 84 yards, 8.4 yards per carry. Why was he not running the ball more? I do not know. Mainly, I guess, because they were just down by so much right away that they felt like they needed to pass. Not to mention, the Eagles just kept on doing 3-and-outs. It was not helped by drop passes by Dallas Goedert and others, and the Tampa Bay defensive line getting to Jalen Hurts instantly. The Eagles offensive line had a very bad performance this week. Clearly, the Bucs' zero blitz that has always worked against Jalen Hurts still works against Jalen Hurts because it worked in the first half and throughout the game since the Eagles only put up 14 points on offense. Going into the second half, I had a little bit of hope. I don't know why, but I guess I did anyways. It was 24-7. Eagles would get the ball first. For some reason, I had hope. They went down and scored a touchdown. I felt confident, and then it ended, and the Eagles never really scored again other than a blocked extra point. It was just a disaster. So, kind of the recap. One of the ugliest Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Eagles games I've ever seen, and the Bucs just seem to own the Eagles. But I'll go through the positions now, as I always do. Starting with the offense, Jalen Hurts. Once again, it's been his grade every week so far this year. I'm giving him a C for this game. He has 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, but he had a bad fumble. Like, what's going on, Jalen? He actually fumbled it twice. He only lost it once. So he's turned the ball over so much the past year. It is absolutely insane and kills this team. But 30 passes, 18 completions, 158 yards, that's just not enough. He got sacked 6 times. He really didn't have much time. And the lack of the top 2 wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, really impacted him. You could tell without those guys, he can't make it. He needs them. And Lane Johnson, we didn't seem to need him last week, but we needed him this week, and that has to be part of the Bucs' pressure. Going to the running game, Saquon Barkley, as I already said, A. He's got an A every single week. I don't care if he dropped the pass against the Falcons that cost us that game. He's been excellent. He's been the best player on this team, without a doubt. He's excellent. We just didn't use him enough this time. The wide receivers, D minus. The wide receiver with the most receiving yards was Paris Campbell with 17 receptions. Paris Campbell with 17 receiving yards. So, we might as well not have them. Dallas Goedert was okay. Of course, he had the drop. He was 7 for 62. Saquon was 2 for 32. I kind of thought Grant Calcaterra would get more receptions than he did. He only ended up with a 1 catch for 26 yards. This was just an anemic offense. Only put up 16 points, as I've said. It's just kind of disappointing, but at least they were shorthanded. And the Bucs defense, they got a few people back. They got Vita Vea back, which is one of the best players on their defense. And the amount of pressure they could get without having to blitz that much was crazy. I don't really know what else to say. This offense, it was bad. At least we have an excuse for why the offense was bad. Offense as a whole, I'd probably give a D. I guess not an F because they scored points, but a D. There weren't any clearly terrible coaching calls from Sirianni, so I'll give him some credit there. But the team did not show up to play, so he doesn't get credit there. One thing I do have to mention is it did feel like about 110 degrees at the game, and the players looked exhausted, especially the Eagles players, because they were just not used to this heat, and that did not help when they already seemed a little drained from the emotional games the past 3 weeks. Before I get to the defense, I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, I would just like you to leave your feelings down below in the comment section, because I'm just not feeling good. Going into the season, I was thinking Super Bowl is a very good opportunity, a very good chance. Number 1 seed in the NFC, great chance. I thought, I don't know, maybe a 30% chance to get it. Really good chance. And first wild card at the worst. And we just look so bad. It's one of the most demoralizing Eagles games I've seen in a long time. The bye week next week is amazing. I did not love it at first because they're so early in the season, but they need it. And they need to come out of this bye week with a new mentality. They need to prove that they are a good team because they have been so inconsistent the past 4 weeks. And it's been very disappointing and frustrating to watch. But now, to the defensive side of the ball, this is ugly. The Bucs put up 30 points through 3 quarters, didn't really try in the fourth quarter, ended up with 33 points in the game. None of these were like special teams, touchdowns, or anything like that. This was all Baker Mayfield throwing the ball 47 times, getting 7.5 yards per throw, 350 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown. Bucky Irving and Rachaad White both could run the ball at will against the Eagles. Not quite how Bijan Robinson was, but still at will, getting 5 yards per carry. The Eagles did get 2 sacks, but this is a Buccaneers team that has given up a lot of sacks the past 3 weeks, so that is not anything. The defensive line got almost no pressure throughout this game, the entire game. But the backfield, the back 7, this was the worst game they've had all year. Through 4 weeks, they've really struggled with 11 personnel, which is when there's only one when there's only one tight end on the field, and there are 3 wide receivers. The Eagles have really struggled with this. The Saints did not do it. The Falcons did. The Buccaneers saw that. They did 11 personnel all game and destroyed the Eagles. They were getting 10 yards per catch for most of the game. And they were easy catches. There was no tight coverage. The corners were playing off. Darius Slay had a really bad game. CJ Gardner-Johnson had a really bad game. They both gave up touchdowns. Quinyon Mitchell, I'm really impressed by him. He is a rookie, so he makes mistakes. But I think next year, or by the end of this year, actually, he will be the Eagles' best corner. At slot, Devontae Maddox had another really bad game, and you have to think when are we going to change this? When does he not get any more chances, giving up a lot of easy passes in the middle of the field? When does the rookie Cooper DeJean get to come in and show what he's worth, show if he's good or not? And I think he gets, I don't know, I think after this bye week, maybe we should give the rookie a chance. One upside is, I don't know. Actually, no. There's no upsides really to this defense. Jalen Carter, it didn't look great. He looked tired. Same with really all of the defensive linemen. I do have to give Bryce Huff credit. Not for playing well, but he did finally get a tackle. Now he has the same as Jalen Hurts the past 3 weeks. So congratulations. Maybe now we can trade you to the Jets and get our Hassan Reddick back, who I never wanted to trade. We still need him. We have no pass rush. It's a frustrating defense to watch. Watching a, above average Bucs offense just slice and dice all the way down the field with no hope. Then sometimes you would stop them to 3rd and 8, and then they would get a 12 or 15 yard completion. It was just such a demoralizing watch. Even our punt returning was terrible, with players being blocked into Cooper DeJean twice. How do we run into our own receiver 2 times in the same game, almost causing two fumbles within our red zone, giving the Bucs easy points when we're already playing bad defense? This was just one of the most demoralizing losses that I've seen as an Eagles fan, and honestly, I'm just glad there's a bye. Hopefully they can go into it, get things together. Of course, I'll still be an Eagles fan, but the world is on fire. I don't want any crazy fire Nick Sirianni talk or anything like that. The schedule does look a little light, hopefully. We got the Browns, who have been absolutely terrible so far. We have the Giants, who haven't been great. Then the Bengals, who started 0-3. They did beat the Panthers. They always start slow and get good. So by a month from now, maybe they'll be good. And then the Jaguars, who have been one of the worst teams in the NFL. There is easily a world where the Eagles start out this season 6-2. If the Eagles are 6-2, I'll be happy, even if they're ugly. If they're ugly wins and we're 6-2, I will get over it and I will be happy. Hopefully. If we're 5-3, I can deal with that. If we are 4-4 going into the Cowboys game, I'm not going to be happy. 4-4 does not cut it. Because the Washington Commanders actually look really good this year. I still think the Cowboys can turn it around, and we need to win this division, get some home playoff games, have a chance in the playoffs where we really care, where we really want to win. I need another Super Bowl. The last Super Bowl loss was so devastating for me. I need a win to cleanse the palate. I haven't recovered yet. I know it's multiple years at this point, but I have not recovered, and I need the team to get things together and just give us a Super Bowl win. Am I asking for too much? I don't think so. Just 1 or 2 or 3. But anyways, what are your thoughts on the game? What do you think about the team? Do you think they still have a chance in the playoffs? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs? I don't know. Go Birds. The world's on fire. Goodbye.